Welcome, dear friend, and thank you for choosing to rest here for a while. This story was made for you as a quiet place to settle your thoughts and find a little peace. It is my deepest wish that it helps you fall asleep more easily, wrapped in a feeling of gentle contentment. If you enjoy our time together, a simple like, a subscription, or a kind comment helps our little sanctuary grow. Tonight, we will be visiting the Sunken Orchard of Astaria. Prepare to be enchanted by a world where the very air is thick with tranquility and the fruit ripens with the taste of quiet, sunlit afternoons. Here, you will walk upon paths of soft, glowing moss and feel the deep, calming hum of the ancient earth, finding a stillness that you can carry with you into your dreams. Chapter 1. The Gate of Woven Boughs. It is a wonderful thing, surely, to find a place that welcomes you before you have even fully arrived. Such was the entrance to the Sunken Orchard of Astaria. There was no grand archway of carved wood or wrought iron, for such things had no place here. Instead, two ancient trees, their trunks smooth and silvered with age, had leaned towards each other 1,000 seasons ago, their highest branches intertwining to form a perfect living gate. Leaves of a pale silvery green clustered thickly upon them, shimmering softly as they stirred in a breeze that seemed to exist only within the orchard's bounds, its touch on the skin like a cool, silken ribbon. The first thing Silas noticed was the sound, or rather, the gentle presence of it. The world he was leaving behind, with its distant calls and the trundling of cartwheels, did not vanish abruptly. It simply faded, as if someone had slowly turned down a lamp, its clamor softening into a vague and distant murmur that held no power to disturb. In its place, a new soundscape bloomed. It was the sound of the orchard breathing, a deep, sighing rustle from the canopy above, a sound that spoke of immense patience and a slow, unhurried existence that was deeply reassuring to the soul. He stood for a long moment at the threshold, breathing it all in. The air itself felt different here. It was heavy and cool, carrying the rich, loamy scent of soil that had been tended by rain and time for forgotten centuries. Woven within that earthy perfume was another sweeter fragrance, a delicate mingling of unseen blossoms that smelled of honey and clean water. He drew the air deep into his lungs, and as he exhaled, he felt a certain tightness in his shoulders, a tension he had carried for so long he had forgotten its name, simply begin to dissolve, melting away like morning mist under a gentle sun. With a soft step, Silas passed under the arch of woven boughs. The moment he crossed the unseen boundary, a palpable sense of peace settled over him. It was a physical sensation, as definite as a warm, soft blanket being laid gently across his shoulders. He felt the muscles in his neck and back release, and his walking pace, which he had always thought quite slow, slowed even further to a comfortable meandering shuffle. The ground beneath his worn leather soles was not hard-packed dirt, but a firm, springy carpet of dark soil and deep green moss that seemed to cushion his every footfall. Looking ahead, he could see the path winding deeper into the grove. It was a simple path, made of the same dark earth, and it seemed to invite exploration without a hint of urgency. The light beneath the trees was a soft, diffuse green, as if he were walking at the bottom of a calm, clear sea. Sunlight filtered through the dense canopy in shifting, dappled patterns, dancing across the ground like silent, golden coins. The light was gentle on the eyes, asking nothing of him, simply offering its serene beauty as a quiet gift of welcome. A low, resonant thrum began to make itself known, a vibration that seemed to rise from the very earth itself. It was not so much a sound to be heard with the ears, but a feeling, a deep hum that he could feel in the soles of his feet and in the core of his being. It was a steady, calming frequency, like the purr of some great, contented creature sleeping peacefully beneath the world. This was the orchard's heartbeat, he thought, a slow and steady rhythm that promised safety and profound, unbroken rest. He placed a hand upon the smooth, cool bark of one of the gate trees. The texture was like worn silk over something strong and alive, and he could feel the faint, deep thrum vibrating through the wood and into his palm. It was a comforting touch, a silent greeting from a being that measured its life in the slow turning of constellations. The tree felt wise and kind, and in its ancient presence, the small worries of a human life seemed to lose their sharp edges, softening into insignificance. And so, his journey into the orchard began. He walked with no destination in mind, his senses open and receptive to the gentle wonders around him. The air grew cooler and sweeter with every step, and the soft green light seemed to wrap around him, holding him in a state of perfect, peaceful suspension. He was here now, and for the first time in a great while, that felt like more than enough. The path ahead glowed faintly, and he followed it, his heart as quiet and content as the ancient trees that watched him pass. Chapter 2. The First Taste. The path meandered deeper into the orchard's gentle embrace, and soon Silas saw a figure moving with the same unhurried grace as the swaying branches. It was Anya, the orchard's keeper. Her hair was the color of dried silverweed, and her eyes held the calm, clear depth of a shaded pool. She wore simple, soft-spun robes of moss green, and her bare feet made no sound upon the yielding earth. She smiled as he approached, a small, kind expression that seemed to have been learned from the contented curve of a crescent moon. There was an aura of profound stillness about her, as if she were as much a part of the orchard as the trees themselves. "Welcome, traveler," she said, her voice a low, melodic murmur, like the sound of water flowing over smooth, round pebbles. It was a voice that held no sharp edges, only warmth, and a gentle resonance that harmonized with the low hum of the roots beneath them. "You have come to rest. The orchard is glad of it." She made a small, graceful gesture with her hand, indicating a low-hanging branch on a nearby tree where a single perfect fruit hung, glowing with a soft internal warmth that pulsed in time with the earth's slow heartbeat. Anya reached up and with a touch as delicate as a moth's wing, plucked the fruit from its stem. She held it out to Silas in the cup of her palm. It was about the size of a small pear, its skin a pale creamy yellow and flawlessly smooth, feeling cool and almost alive against his fingertips. It was called a sunside, she explained softly, because it ripened by absorbing the feeling of the sun's last, gentlest rays at the end of a long, peaceful afternoon. He could feel the faint warmth radiating from it, a comforting heat that seemed to travel up his arm. He lifted the fruit, and its scent was subtle and wonderfully clean, a fragrance of warm honey, fresh cream, and a hint of sunshine on dry grass. There was a simple, wholesome goodness to it that felt deeply nourishing before he had even taken a bite. He sat upon a cushion of thick, cool moss at the base of the tree, the soft ground molding itself to him, and felt the orchard's quiet permission to simply be. Anya settled nearby, her presence as unobtrusive and calming as that of the ancient tree beside them. With a quiet sense of anticipation, Silas took his first bite. The flesh of the fruit was soft and yielded with a gentle sigh, its juice cool and sweet on his tongue. It was a flavor that was at once simple and impossibly complex. It tasted of warmth, of light, of a deep and abiding peace. But it was more than a taste. As the flavor spread, a cascade of sensory memories, gentle and fleeting, washed through his mind, not as thoughts, but as pure feeling. He felt the sensation of warm golden sunlight on his closed eyelids, the kind one experiences when tilting one's face to the sky on a perfect summer's day. He heard the distant, contented hum of a fat bumblebee moving slowly from one blossom to the next. He could almost smell the sweet, dusty scent of hay in a far-off field and feel the gentle caress of a soft breeze that carried with it the promise of a restful evening. It was the distilled essence of a perfect, peaceful afternoon, a moment of sublime tranquility captured and held within the tender flesh of the fruit. The experience was deeply grounding. Any stray thoughts, any lingering echoes of the world outside simply dissolved. His mind became wonderfully still, its surface as smooth and reflective as a forest pool at dawn. There was only the taste of the fruit, the feeling of the soft moss beneath him, the cool air on his skin, and the deep, resonant hum of the earth. He felt a profound sense of connection to this place, as if by tasting its fruit, he had been invited to share in its ancient, peaceful secrets. He finished the last bite slowly, savoring the gentle aftertaste that lingered on his palate, a flavor of quiet joy. He looked up at Anya, his eyes wide with a soft, gentle wonder. She simply nodded, her serene smile telling him that she understood completely. There was no need for words. In the Sunken Orchard of Astaria, the deepest forms of communication were the ones shared through a taste, a touch, or a shared moment of profound and beautiful silence. Chapter 3. The Glimmer-Moss Path. As the afternoon light began to mellow, its golden tones deepening into a soft apricot blush, Anya beckoned for Silas to follow her. She led him away from the wider, more apparent pathways and onto a smaller, less traveled trail that wound its way between the immense, gnarled trunks of the oldest trees. This path was different, The ground here was completely covered in a thick, living carpet of what she called Glimmer-Moss, its texture like the finest, deepest velvet, yielding ever so slightly under the weight of his step. During the day, it was a shade of deep, restful forest green. Anya explained in her quiet, murmuring voice that this moss had a special relationship with the light. All day long, it drank in the sun's rays, storing the light within its very fibers, not as energy for growth, but as a form of memory. As twilight began to descend, enveloping the orchard in its soft gray-blue cloak, the moss would begin to release this captured light. He watched, fascinated, as the path before them began to emit a soft, pearlescent glow, a gentle internal luminescence that grew steadily as the shadows deepened. Walking this glowing path felt like treading on a river of captured starlight. The light was not bright or sharp. It was a diffuse, silver-white radiance that seemed to breathe, pulsing in a slow, hypnotic rhythm. It cast everything in a gentle, ethereal glow, illuminating the undersides of the broad, silvery leaves above and tracing the intricate, ancient patterns of the tree bark in soft relief. The world was transformed into a place of profound and gentle magic, a quiet dreamscape where the very ground was alive with the soft, reassuring light. They paused their walk beside one of the great humming roots. It was a colossal root, as thick as a man's chest, that had broken the surface of the mossy ground centuries ago. Its surface was worn smooth by time, its wood a deep, rich brown that seemed to absorb the soft light of the moss around it. Anya invited Silas to place his hand upon it. The moment his palm rested on the smooth, cool wood, he felt the deep, resonant vibration more clearly than ever. It was a powerful, steady thrum, a low and ancient song that the earth was singing to itself. He closed his eyes, focusing on the sensation. The hum traveled from his hand up his arm, spreading through his entire body in a warm, soothing wave. It felt as though every muscle, every fiber of his being was being gently tuned to this frequency of deep peace. It was a vibration that spoke of stability, of permanence, of a calm that had endured for ages. He felt the gentle weight of his own body, the slow and steady rhythm of his own heartbeat, and the ancient, powerful pulse of the root beneath his hand, all merging into a single harmonious chord of being. Around them, the sounds of the orchard shifted into their evening melody. The sighing of the leaves grew softer, more languid. A night bird somewhere in the high branches began its simple three-note call, a sound as clear and pure as droplets of water falling into a still pool. The air grew cooler, carrying the rich, damp scent of the moss and the sweet perfume of a white cup-shaped flower that only opened its petals to the moonlight. Silas found himself breathing in sync with the slow, gentle pulse of the Glimmer-Moss. In as the light seemed to softly swell, out as it seemed to recede just a little. It was a meditative, effortless rhythm that required no thought at all. He felt utterly safe, held in the gentle, glowing heart of the ancient orchard. The world was reduced to these simple, beautiful sensations. The firm, yielding moss beneath his feet, the deep hum of the root against his skin and the soft, magical light that made the world new again. He opened his eyes and saw Anya watching him, her face illuminated by the silvery glow from the path. Her expression was one of profound, peaceful understanding. In her serene presence, Silas felt that he was not just a visitor to this place, but a welcome participant in its quiet, living magic. He was learning the orchard's language, a language spoken not with words, but with light and texture, and the deep, resonant hum of ancient living wood. Chapter 4. The Language of Leaves. The following day, Silas sought out the heart of the orchard, a place where the trees grew so vast and ancient that their collective canopy formed a great living cathedral dome. Here he found the oldest of them all, a colossal tree whose trunk was so wide it would take 4 people to encircle it. Its immense, smooth branches curved outwards and then downwards, like great, embracing arms reaching for the mossy earth. He settled himself at its base, his back resting against the firm, supportive trunk, the bark feeling like cool, weathered silk against his shirt. He decided he would spend the afternoon here, simply being. At first, his mind, accustomed to purpose, searched for something to do, some task to focus on. But the gentle influence of the orchard was a powerful one. Slowly, like a boat settling at its mooring, his thoughts began to quieten. He let his gaze drift upwards into the intricate, interwoven world of the canopy. The leaves were a mosaic of 1,000 different shades of soft, silvery green, and the filtered sunlight that reached him was gentle and cool, dappling the ground around him in a slow, endlessly shifting dance. The air was still and smelled of green, living things and rich, clean soil. He began to listen, truly listen, with a kind of attention he rarely afforded the world. He started to discern the different voices in the symphony of the leaves. The highest, youngest leaves made a soft, sibilant whisper as the breeze touched them. The broader, older leaves lower down had a deeper, more languid rustle, a sound like the turning of pages in a very old, very large book. He could hear the faint, percussive plink as a drop of dew, held since morning in the cup of a leaf, finally let go and fell to a cushion of moss below. Each sound was distinct, yet part of a seamless, peaceful whole. His focus drifted from sound to the subtle movements around him. He watched a single silver leaf detach from its branch high above. It did not fall directly, but spiraled downwards in a slow, graceful descent, turning and flashing in the dappled light like a silent, spinning coin. He followed its journey from the high canopy to the soft Glimmer-Moss at his feet, a small, perfect event that took a full minute to unfold. In that minute, nothing else existed. There was only the leaf and its quiet, unhurried return to the earth. He felt the great, steady presence of the tree against his back. It felt less like an object and more like a sleeping being of immense age and wisdom. The low, resonant hum was stronger here at its base, a constant, soothing vibration that traveled through his spine, making his limbs feel heavy and wonderfully relaxed. He laid his hands flat on the moss beside him, its surface cool and damp. He felt the immense network of roots beneath him, a silent, powerful connection that spread throughout the entire orchard, binding everything together in a web of quiet community. His mind, now almost entirely free of its usual chatter, became like a still, clear pool of water. It no longer generated thoughts of its own, but simply reflected the profound, simple beauty of what was around it. The pattern of light, the texture of bark, the sound of a leaf's rustle. A deep sense of peace, more profound than any he had yet felt, settled into his very core. It was a feeling of complete acceptance, of being exactly where he was meant to be, doing exactly what he was meant to be doing, nothing at all. A small brown bird with a chest the color of cream landed on a low branch nearby. It tilted its head, observing him with a bright, curious eye, and then let out a clear, melodic, three-note call. It was the same bird he had heard the night before. Hearing its song in the gentle light of day felt like a greeting from a friend. The bird sang its short song twice more, then took flight, its wings making a soft, whirring sound as it disappeared back into the green depths of the canopy. Silas closed his eyes, a gentle smile on his face. He could feel the gentle weight of contentment in his limbs, a pleasant heaviness that anchored him to this peaceful spot. The world could continue its turning and its bustling. Here, in the embrace of the ancient tree, time itself seemed to have slowed to a crawl, measured only by the fall of a single leaf or the song of a small, quiet bird. He was learning to be as patient and as present as the orchard itself, and it was the most restorative lesson he could have ever imagined. Chapter 5. A Pocketful of Afternoons. The time came, as it always does, for Silas to leave. His departure felt less like an ending and more like the gentle turning of a page. There was no sadness in it, only a quiet sense of gratitude that filled him to the brim. He found Anya near the living gate, tending to a cluster of small bell-shaped flowers that chimed with a faint crystalline note when the breeze touched them. She looked up as he approached, her serene smile telling him she knew it was time. She did not ask where he was going or why. The orchard only cared that he had found his rest within it. "You will carry the orchard with you," she said, her voice the familiar, soothing murmur he had grown so fond of. "Its quiet is a part of you now." She held out a small, beautifully crafted box made of a smooth, pale wood. It felt warm and light in his hands, its surface polished by long and gentle handling. The lid slid open without a sound, revealing several thin, dried slices of a deep purple fruit, their edges curled like ancient scrolls. He could smell their faint, sweet scent, reminiscent of plums in warm evenings. "These are memory plums," Anya explained. "They hold the feeling of this place. Should you ever find the world becoming too loud, the taste of one of these will help you remember the stillness you have found here." She closed the box and placed it gently in his palm. It felt like a precious weight, a tangible piece of the peace he had absorbed. He knew he would treasure it not for its magic, but for the simple, kind gesture it represented. It was a pocketful of quiet afternoons, a gift of pure tranquility. He walked with her to the archway of woven boughs, the entrance that now felt like the doorway to a cherished home. The air on the other side seemed different already, thinner, holding a different quality of light. He paused at the threshold, turning back one last time to look into the soft green depths of the orchard. He saw the gentle dappled light, the cushions of deep moss, and the ancient wise trunks of the trees standing in peaceful community. He could feel the low, steady hum of the roots beneath his feet, a final, reassuring farewell. "Thank you," he said, the words feeling small and simple, yet they carried the entire weight of his heartfelt gratitude. Anya simply placed a hand over her heart and gave a slight, graceful bow of her head. No other words were needed between them. The understanding was complete. He had come seeking quiet, and he had been given a profound and living stillness that had settled deep within his bones. Silas stepped back through the woven gate. The sounds of the outside world returned, yet they no longer felt jarring or intrusive. They were simply sounds, their edges softened by the deep well of quiet he now carried within him. He felt his own breath, slow and even, a steady rhythm that was now his own. The feeling of the warm, soft blanket of peace did not vanish. It simply settled more deeply, becoming a part of him. He placed the small wooden box safely in his pocket, its smooth surface a comforting presence. He did not look back again. He knew the orchard would always be there, breathing its slow, ancient rhythm, growing its fruit of captured moments. And he knew that its most important lesson was that a measure of its peace could be cultivated anywhere, simply by closing one's eyes, breathing slowly, and remembering the language of the leaves. With a final soft exhale, like a sigh of deep contentment, he turned and began his journey onward. He walked with a new, unhurried pace, his footsteps light upon the earth. The world around him was the same, yet everything was different, for he was seeing it through the gentle, quiet gaze of the Sunken Orchard of Astaria, carrying its serenity with him, a quiet and enduring light to guide his way.